I'm Sabrina Gonder, and my business is Get Healthy with Sabrina. And today I'm going to teach you how to make kombucha. So the first thing you'll need is a 1-gallon glass vessel and some hot water. I'm going to put just a little bit of hot water in my glass vessel here. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to dissolve my sugar. I'm using organic turbinado sugar. You can use regular white sugar if you want. I just want to have the cleanest kombucha brew possible. So you're just going to stir your sugar in that hot water until it's dissolved. It will just take a couple minutes to do that. And as soon as that's dissolved, what we're going to do is we're going to add our tea bags. So what I like to use are these black tagless tea bags. These are found at our local Winco, and they're just easier than tearing off the little tags and putting them in your kombucha brew. So this needs a few more minutes of stirring to get that all dissolved, and you'll see it'll be a little bit darker than if we use white sugar because it has not been refined. So that's why it's got this beautiful golden brown tone to it. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to put in 8 tagless tea bags, and these are really fun because they come in pairs. So I'm just going to put in 4 pairs of my tea bags and get those down there in the water. And I'm going to let this steep for anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes. It really depends on how strong you like your tea. I tend to like mine pretty strong. So I'll let these sit here and brew until this water is cooled off a bit. All right, it's been about a half hour, so we can go ahead and take our tea bags out. And I just like to use this spoon that's slotted, that way I keep all the liquid in here. And I'm just chasing them around and getting them into this bowl. And we are now finished with the tea. I have some purified cool water here that I'm going to add to the brew. You don't want it to be hot and you don't want it to be ice cold. And we're going to fill it up to about this top line right here. And what this does is it dilutes that sugar tea mixture that we made earlier. Alright, we need just a little bit more cool water, so I'm going to keep filling this till we get about to this line right here. I really like these Cracker Barrel jars because they've got this line right here that's a good measurement. So that's enough water, and the temperature feels really good. I'm just going to give it a quick stir, get all that yumminess mixed up. Alright, so now what we're going to add is the main ingredient, and this is a SCOBY, and SCOBY stands for Symbiotic Colony of Bacteria and Yeast. And I like to tell people, if you've ever made sourdough bread, it's similar to that, and that you need a start. So there's lots of ways to get SCOBYs. I know people who have mail ordered them. You can buy them in certain stores. Natural Grocers carries them in a little kit. You can get them on Amazon. The best way to get them, I think, is from a friend of yours that's a brewer. So when I teach my classes, this is all part of what they get from my class. So this SCOBY is what's going to eat the majority of the sugar, the majority of the caffeine, and fill it full of wonderful probiotics. And it's got some of the original tea brew from the last batch in it. And why that's important is that it helps kickstart the brewing process. So you just add this entire thing, liquid and all, into your container. And then the original lid that came with this canister, you don't want to use that again. This is not to be used unless you quit brewing kombucha. So just forget about that. This becomes your new brewing lid, and this is just a paper towel. Now you can use a paper towel, you can use an old cotton t-shirt, or you can use cheesecloth. It needs to be able to breathe. So that SCOBY I just put in there is a living organism. So if you keep that in mind, it needs to breathe, so that's why we can't put that metal lid on. So when we put this lid on and secure it with our rubber band, this not only lets the brew breathe, but it keeps any little fruit flies, it keeps dust, it keeps particulate out of our brew. So the other thing I like to do is to take a pen and date this. And the reason I do that is I'll forget when I brewed this batch. A lot of times I have about 4 batches going at a time. And by dating it, I can always, at a quick glance, know if it's finished or not. My sweet spot for brewing my kombucha tea is 12 to 14 days. So in 12 days, I will taste it. And if it tastes the way that I like it, and that's totally a personal preference, then I will bottle it into smaller bottles. Now this is a commercial brand. This is actually a pretty good one. And I have been saving all of these when I buy them at the store, because I will put my brew in here and then add about 10% of whatever flavor I want. So start saving your bottles, people. You'll be glad that you did. And these are also great. Any size canning jar works perfect for storing your kombucha and consuming. If you're in Spokane or the Coeur d'Alene area, I highly recommend you check out Bear Culture. They are just fantastic at brewing. They have 14 to 16 different flavors. They're local women that are in the Coeur d'Alene area, and they are just doing fantastic. So if you're not brewing your own, make sure you're trying Bear Culture's kombucha. Alright, so on my next video I will show you how to bottle your kombucha and how to flavor it. And I'll also talk to you about all of the health benefits of this fantastic drink.